You know, there are no secrets anymore. The New York Times, which we all knew bent over backwards to lean left, is now officially a leftist, progressive, socialist newspaper. There is no objective journalism anymore. It is a newspaper for a certain mindset only. They as much as admitted it this week. When their latest editorial board hire, Sarah Jeong, an Asian woman, is outed for her cop-hating, Caucasian-hating, male-hating social media messages, the Gray Lady responds with a "what difference does it make" answer. And the Washington Post poo-poos the hate with this namby-pamby headline. Is it okay to make fun of white people online? As if F the police or we should kill all men is humorous. Jeong has certainly given deeper thought than most of us to hate-filled tweets and their consequences, since she herself wrote a book about online harassment. Now, ask yourselves if any of the following sound like comedy to you. Cops are a-holes. Why don't we ever talk about banning police? F the police. We should kill all the men. Oh, man, it's kind of sick how much joy I get out of being cruel to old white men. Or hashtag cancel white people. F white women. Now, we're not just talking about a writer for the Times. We're talking about an editorial board member, an esteemed and prestigious position at any newspaper. The editorial board is looked up to for direction by journalists. And the newspaper that has always prided itself on being there for the forgotten and on being open-minded, fair-handed, and at the citadel of the newspaper publishing world is now admitting to its own hypocrisy. By defending Jeong, they're saying it's okay to be racist if your target is white. And they even say all the outcry is over old tweets, as if 3 years ago is old. And they say as a young Asian woman, she's been subject to online harassment, as if hating cops or whites is okay if you say you've been harassed. But even more revealing is Jeong's own statement that her comments were not aimed at the general audience. Pray tell, saying F the police is about as general an audience as you can get. And someone who has a job at the New York Times as a wordsmith should know the difference between a specific and a general audience. It's specific when it's against one police officer. It's general if it's against all law enforcement and the whole group of them. You know, the bigotry is alarming. As recently as a few weeks ago, the New York Times goaded its readers into an editorial to fight the nomination of the latest Supreme Court nominee, Brett Kavanaugh. Quote, to take a line from The Godfather, this is the New York Times, it's time to go to the mattresses. Really? The Godfather? Now, it's been a while since I've seen The Godfather, but last I recall, going to the mattresses meant that one family was going to wipe out another. But you're not surprised. You already knew this, didn't you? I'm tired of the elitists telling me and everyone else to not believe our lying eyes when the truth is so painfully obvious. Whether it's Peter Strzok saying he hated and despised Trump and would stop his becoming president, but it did not affect his work when he's the one who began the counterintelligence investigation against Trump that we are still living with. Or Jeong's defenders saying there is no evidence her tweets had any bearing on her work. It appears the old gray lady has finally flipped her wig. Time to go to the mattresses on a Supreme Court justice? Really? Here's my favorite quote from The Godfather. We're going to make you an offer you can't refuse. Stop your resistance, stop your obstruction, stop the hypocrisy, and get on board with making America great again, or get the hell out of the way.